All right, guys, we got the UFC welterweight champ on today ahead of UFC 315. Before we get into it, if you guys have not tried out the Prize Picks app for some reason by now, you got to download it right now. I love to fire on sports, and I've tried every single app in the game, and Prize Picks is by far the best app to fire on sports. Right now, Prize Picks has a crazy sweepstakes going on. If you put in a $5 3-pick NBA flex lineup, you're automatically entered into the sweepstakes to win courtside tickets to the NBA Finals. That's sick. I'm going to be firing some NBA picks. The more you play, the more chances you have to win. Also, guys, we got code NELK for you guys. If you guys plug in that code and put in just $5, you're going to get $50 for free, no strings attached. We've been hot on Prize Picks. We're posting picks on our Instagram story for every single Maple Leafs games. We just fucking destroyed the Sens. We're in round 2, so peep our Instagram story. We're posting picks every single game. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Try it out. It's so much fun. Use code NELK. Let's get into the podcast. All right, guys, we got a great episode, Full Send podcast today. Ahead of UFC 315 this week in Montreal, we got Belal Muhammad on the podcast. We just hit a pretty killer workout, right?
Man, you killed it. Like,
that was tough.
For the first time hitting the stairs, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do as good as you.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
bro,
not just
I've seen
saying that?
fighters like break and
Really?
like they'll get to the 6-1 and be like, nah, bro, I'm done. But you pushed it. You went hard even with the last sprint. I was like, nah, he's gonna stop. But man, you showed it. You've been killing it.
We were going to do the pod, and then I hit him up, and I was like, if you guys are doing a workout, I'll come join. So I was expecting maybe like hitting mitts or something, and then he sends me the location of the stairs, and he's like, we're running stairs. I searched it up. It's like a fucking mountain. Yeah. But no, we did it. We killed it.
Anybody from Chicago, that's like the landmark for like people that want to work out, people that want to push. Walter Payne's been there. Any fighter that trains goes there. You'll see it. When it's nice outside, it's like packed. It'll be hard to even like run up them.
Yeah. So we got the fight against Madalena next week, Montreal. We're going to be there. Where does this rank amongst like tough fights in your career, would you say?
I mean, for me, it's your tough fight. Your next fight's always your toughest fight. Like I never ever look past an opponent because it's so hard in the sport. But for myself to see where I am right now and then like skill wise, body wise, like I feel like I'm the best I've ever been. And when I'm looking at everybody else in the division, even looking at Jack, like I just don't see anybody like on my level.
I feel like some crazy shit now is happening at lightweight and welterweight, like recently. And I feel like this fight, your fight, I feel like is going to be the most watched fight by like UFC fighters in lightweight and welterweight. Because I feel like your fight is just depicts what like everything else is going to happen at those two divisions. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's like the jingle board, right? You got to pull it all out, and they're all just like waiting for it to happen. And I feel like Dana and all them guys are like
they're waiting too.
Yeah, they probably have so many contracts. Like, all right, this.
Because who's like Islam's kind of waiting, obviously, to see what happens, and then I'm sure like that decides Oliveira's fight, Ilya's fight, Gaethje's fight, and then welterweight. I'm sure like all those guys are waiting to see what happens. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
right?
But I already told them, I was like, there's no need to wait. Like I'm gonna win. So whatever your plans are before that, and I'm like, especially with myself, I already know there's so many people that are just like have their draft saved of their tweet. That's gonna be like they're hoping that I lose, and then they're gonna have to keep it in the drafts because once we win, they're gonna have to just like erase that memory from them.
Who's next after this if you win? In welterweight, who do you think deserves it? Because now Ian Gary just won, and then I guess Shavkat, we don't know. Is there any word on when he's coming back?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've heard that he's going to be out for a little bit longer. I don't know what his injury is. They're very quiet with it, but
so no one knows how long he's out for. Really,
exactly. Yeah, and then
Usman and Buckley just got announced.
Everybody's saying they're the next guy, right? Even like Ian, like he's talking, he's being vocal with it. Honestly, out of all of them, I think Sean Brady probably had the best performance, like beating Leon Edwards like that, finishing him. He looked the best, but obviously I finished him.
So is that a fight you'd want to run back, or like?
I mean, I think he's earned it, like he's gotten there, but like if I'm being honest, obviously I think if Usman goes out there and he gets a big finish against Buckley, or even if Buckley gets a big finish, beating Usman and Kobe back to back, I think that would put him ahead of everybody else. I think Ian and Usman would probably be the funnest build-up because they both know how to talk.
Yeah.
And it's always like fun when you have a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
So for myself, like even with like Leon, there's trash talk. So it made it a funner build-up. Like with Jack, he's not really a talker. So it's not really a fun build-up, but obviously the fight's the fight, no matter what.
How do you think Usman's going to come out in that fight?
I think he's
been off for a while, right? Did he have an injury or something?
I just don't think he has any knees. So he just has to wait until his cartilage grows back, and then he just like tries to figure it out. And then it takes like 2 years. for it to come back in there, try stem cells, tries like collagen or something. But I think he was waiting for the right moment. And I think right now he's thinking that, all right, well, Buckley's running hot right now. It's a winnable fight for him. So maybe if he goes out there, he beats Buckley, he knows that his name's big enough to skip the line.
You beat Leon pretty... I mean, it was a close fight, but I feel like you beat him pretty decisively. Were you expecting that from him? Because the way he beat Usman twice was like, going into that fight, I was like, damn. Like, I thought Leon was about to make a crazy run for a bit, but you kind of just humbled him, right?
We've always thought, like, for myself, when I got into the sport, I always looked at who's the champion, who's that guy, and I always thought I could beat all these guys. For myself, and I looked at the matchup stylistically, I knew my style was his kryptonite. Like a pressure fighter that was in your face that was going to break you. I knew I was going to do that. And for me, I had probably like a year and a half just to focus and train for Leon because they made me weigh in as a backup. I had to wait a full year for him. I had to fight like stylistic. I fought like Damian Maia, who's a straight grappler, Wonder Boy, who's a straight up striker, Luke A, who's a knockout artist. So I've fought all these different styles. And whenever you do a camp for a specific style, it levels you up. So I'm always getting better every camp. I'm growing every camp. And when I saw Leon, I was like, there's nothing that he's going to show me that I haven't seen before. And also just adding the anger part of it, right? Like he poked me in the eye the first time we fought. And then he was like acting like I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn it. I was on a 9-fight winning streak. So that did nothing but just like put a chip on my shoulder and make me want to embarrass him in front of his people.
Is there beef between you and Usman?
Oh, bro, yeah, I don't like him. He was one of those guys, right? When he was a champion, he acted like I didn't exist. And I was on a good streak. He was always, oh, let me just rematch Kobe. Let me rematch Masvidal. But then when I won the belt, now he wants to like talk, right? And his ego is so big. I went on his podcast.
What was good with the mystery podcast? Have you ever talked about that or no?
I've talked about it, said about it, but like for me, I understand why they wouldn't want to put it out, right? Like if you're on a podcast with somebody, if I was on a podcast with you and I made you cry on your own podcast, like you're going to hold that in and you're not going to want to put it out there.
What happened?
We were on this podcast and Henry Cejudo was like, how does it feel to be champion? And, you're at the top now. And I'm like, it feels good right now because everybody wants to listen to you. Everybody thinks you're the champ. Everybody has to look up at you now. And Usman's like, I was a champ too. I was like, yeah, but you're not the champ anymore. And then he just couldn't let it go. He's like, but I'm right there. I was like, nah, bro, you're on a 3-fight losing streak. And he's like, I still had the belt. And I was like, I'm the champion now. But he just couldn't give me my props, right?
Oh.
It was just one of those where he was just like, but anything you do, I do better than you. And then I was like, but you didn't take the head kick better than me. And I think that just like triggered him, where he was just like, I don't play these games, man. It's on sight when people talk like that. And I'm just like, we're right in front of each other on site. So then, you guys
did it in person?
Yeah, it was in person.
Oh, because they do it over Zoom sometimes too.
No, this was in person. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We had the same manager, right?
Yeah.
Ali was like,
Ali's the GOAT.
Bro, yeah, he's the man. And when he told me to go do their podcast, I was like, are you sure? He said, no, bro, it's going to be professional. It's going to be this. Like, you're good. I was like, bro, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm the champ. I don't really care. I'll go on the podcast. And then, Henry Cejudo twisted his ankle, had to break it up, but
you guys actually got into a physical?
Yeah, but
have you guys said that publicly ever or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's put out there, but like I said, they had the footage, right? Maybe he's waiting to
so you guys actually got into it. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
damn. So that would be a good build up for a fight then, 100%.
Right? Like he wins the Buckley fight, put it out there, but like I said, they got to have the right editors, the right people to fix it all up to hide his tears.
All right, guys, you guys have heard me talk about the MoonPay app for a while now, and honestly, I'm not going to stop because it is the best app in the game by far to buy and sell crypto. MoonPay is pretty much the PayPal of the crypto world. Just like you can go on a site and use PayPal to buy anything, that is now MoonPay for the crypto world. Every crypto app you're using or thinking of using uses MoonPay to allow you to buy crypto, including your favorite payment providers like Venmo, credit card, everything. Also, I know we have a lot of DGens watching right now and you guys have been firing on meme coins. You guys got to check out the Moonshot app, MoonPay's new partner. Best place to buy and trade meme coins. So if you guys have the MoonPay app and the Moonshot app and you're into meme coins, you're going to have the best experience. Obviously, the meme coin space is all over the fucking place, so do your own research. Be careful when you're firing. Shout out to the best crypto app in the game by far. I love it. The most user-friendly, the MoonPay app. Let's get back into the pod. And then, yeah, I guess you've probably been getting asked this a lot, but Islam and you, there's no chance that would ever happen, right? Because of your guys' friendship?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for me, like, the loyalty means more than anything, like, especially with those guys. Like they've done, and it helped me so much. Like you've been with them, you train with them, like you understand like the brotherhood,
of course,
of them guys.
Yeah.
So like I would never want to like disrespect them in any way, or I couldn't even like fight him. Habib was in their corner, it was just like break my heart because he was one of the guys when I was like still coming up, even though he's younger than me. Like I still like look up to a guy like that, right? Where being a Muslim, being religious, and seeing how he brought the religion into the sport and showed it, and like how he like portrayed himself and was a champion is like, and like I said, he's helped me and he's never asked for anything in return. So like for those guys, I wouldn't do it. Like I would move up before fighting them guys.
Because Islam, he wants to be double champ. That's one of his goals, right? So I guess it's like a touchy.
Yeah, exactly. And then for myself, I feel like I'm at the point now where if I get 2 wins, 2 title defenses, I could start looking to move up. When I'm looking at 85, I think it's an easy division for myself. I don't think it would be a problem. So me and Islam could go double champ back to back.
Have you and Islam ever like spoken about that?
No, I mean we've talked, and it'd be like
has he ever said how he feels about it?
Yeah, I mean he's like
same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Like discussed, and obviously like you said, everybody's gonna keep asking the same question, or they're gonna keep like, oh, it's because he's afraid of this guy. He's running from this guy or that guy, and it's like, at the end of the day, there's like really no fighter afraid of any other fighter. So like for ourselves and for myself, like I consider them guys brothers, and I would never fight like a brother like that. And I couldn't see myself like doing a training camp for those guys or wanting to fight those guys, right?
Yeah. Who do you think Islam should fight next then?
Honestly, I think Justin makes a lot of sense. For Justin, he's like on what is he, 3-1 in his last 4. He's never fought him before, and people are always gonna watch Justin, right? Obviously Topuria moved up, but I for Islam, who fought Volkanovski twice and didn't get any credit for it, like people are like, oh, he fought a 45er, so it doesn't really make sense for him to, all right, let me fight another 45er, and then he beats him, and they'll be like, well, Topuria has the option of saying, well, I'm just gonna go back down to 45. I was too small.
But I think Topuria is vacated, right? So that's the difference now, is Topuria is saying like, I'm no longer at that division, like I'm now at lightweight. Yeah,
but say he goes up there and he loses, he still has the option to be like, well, I'm gonna go back down. Who's the champion? I knocked out Volkanovski. I'll get a rematch right away. Like he'll get that option. Because I heard he
just can't make that weight no more.
I mean, you could always make the life changes, right?
Right.
There's a lot of guys, especially like him, where he cuts weight drinking wine, and he could do that fight week. I think he probably gets tired of cutting weight. Cutting weight's not fun, and he probably thinks that with the confidence from knocking out Holloway and Volkanovski back to back, he thinks that, I can knock these guys out. But the only fight he's had at 55, he's gotten dropped by Jai Herbert, and then we've seen him get like out muscled and out wrestled by a couple guys at 45. I think Islam's just going to be way too big for him. But if he goes out there and he beats a guy like Oliveira or even like a Justin or Dustin, like, then you earn your spot. I think that for him, it'll just show them, and it'll make that fight even bigger with Islam.
And then I guess there's Arman at that division too, right? That division's stacked.
Yeah,
now.
there's so many good fights for him. I mean, you got Paddy just won too. So like,
Paddy too.
For Islam, there's guys that he hasn't fought, right? And there's other guys that are up there that are hyping it up, and that'll be huge fights. Arman is a beast, but that injury last one, so like for him now, it's just trying to get another fight out the way. But it's hard because nobody wants to fight anybody. Every one of them saying like, now I'm going to wait for the title fight. Oliver, I'm not fighting nobody but for the title. Topuria, I'm not fighting nobody but for the title. Justin, I earned a title shot. So like you said, I think they're all just waiting for the dominoes to fall. And after next weekend, I think a lot of like the questions will be answered.
Yeah. I saw you posted the other day a t-shirt of you and Hamzat. A fake like fight. Was that like... What's going on there? Is that like something you want to happen one day?
Somebody asked me in an interview, they're like, would you move up to 85 if Hamzat was champion? And I said, bro, I was calling him out when I was at welterweight. When he was welterweight, I literally wore that shirt to the event. And I had shirts I was throwing out to the crowd. For myself, I'm a guy, like, I want to fight the toughest guys, the toughest tests. He's undefeated. They think that he can walk through everybody. You're not going to walk through me. So I was calling him out. And then he posted like a pony yesterday, and he's like, where are you going, pony? I was like,
I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was like a patty, you little sausage or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know if it was like a Russian joke or something.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, but I was just like, all right, bro, I've been called you out. I asked for the fight a million times.
You don't really know what to do when you get called a pony, too.
Yeah,
It's like,
bro. I was like,
it just throws you off.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to take
Maybe
it
he
as
was
disrespect.
fucking, he was
right?
fucking with you a bit, right?
Yeah.
A pony? It's so random.
Yeah, it was like random, but I was like, all right, I'm going to take that as disrespect, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, definitely. Is there no Muslim Brotherhood connection there with Hamzat? He seems like a bit of an outlier in the Muslim Brotherhood world. Like he had beef with Abu Bakr too, right?
Yeah, he had beef with their team,
And
but I think
Khabib had to squash it.
they squashed it. Yeah, I think, and for myself, it's not beef. Like even if I fight Shafkat, he's Muslim too. So I haven't trained with those guys. I haven't bled with those guys. So it's not the same thing. And for me, I look at it as a sport. They all want what I have. I'm the champion. So I want what they have, right? He's got that undefeated streak. I want to take that from him. I want to take his O from him. So it's all competition. It's at the end of the day, it's like I want to leave this sport with my resume showing that I fought the best guys and I beat the best guys. When people think of me, he took the toughest test. And he went the longest road to get where he got, and he did what nobody thought he could do. I started at 23 years old. I wasn't born with it. I wasn't from the mountains, the Dagestan. I wrestled 2 years in high school, and this was all just natural heart, natural skill, natural hard work that got me here.
Wow, you started at 23?
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
36.
How did you start?
I was in college. I was at U of I, and I was just going to be a lawyer. And then, like I said, I wrestled at high school in South Side of Chicago, and we had a coach there, Lewis Taylor, and he left after 1 year because it wasn't the best school. They didn't really care about the wrestling team, and then he was gone, and I was like, whatever happened to him? But he was that cool young coach that you had a connection with. And then when I was in college, I randomly saw him in a newspaper, and he was fighting for Strikeforce. So then I just reached out to him on Facebook, and I was like, bro, you're a fighter? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm a fighter. I train at this gym. And it ended up being near my parents' house. So whenever I'll come home on the weekends, I would go see him, visit him, and then we'll train a little bit. And then he just started teaching me a little bit. And he started teaching me a little bit more. So every weekend I would come home. Then I transferred to a closer college here, started training more full time. And then I was like, let me take an amateur fight. So after 3 or 4 months of training with him, I got an amateur fight. And then I was locked in. Here
in Chicago?
Yeah, I was hooked. My hand got raised. I won the fight. But I was addicted to it. I have an addictive personality. When I do something, I go super hard. I go all in with it. So then I was I could always go back to college. I always finish college, go to law school, whatever. But I'm let's see how far we could go with this. We started training. We started working. And then I went pro after 3 amateur fights. And I said, we'll just go until we lose. And then we got to 9-0. We won a Titan FC belt. And then we got signed to the UFC for short notice.
What was it like getting signed to the UFC?
It was...
how did you find out and stuff?
They called me... it was during Ramadan. And I was fasting, and they called me for... It was 3 or 4 week notice to fight Alan Jouban. And at the time, he was a big name. He had a good streak. And I'm undefeated. I just won a belt.
Who called you from there?
It was just my manager.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I was just let's go. Because I was at 3-0 when I went and tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. Didn't make it. I was at 6-0. Tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. Didn't make it. And then I kept winning on the thing. I was like, man, are they ever going to call me? Am I ever going to get the shot? And then once I finally get that call, you're like, this is it. This is my spot. I'm going to make it. And it was in Vegas. It was it was an International Fight Week too, where they had 3 events on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I fought on Friday. But I went out there, and it was it was a war. It was fight of the night, but I lost. And it was my first loss. And then you're dang, am I not good enough to be in the UFC? Do I not belong here? So then I was call my manager, bro, give me another fight right away. And then he got me a fight probably a couple months later, and then I won. And then I was all right, we're back on it. We're good. We're this. We belong here. And then I got called for the Madison Square Garden fight, UFC 205, the biggest card. And then I go out there, and then I lost. It was my first time ever getting knocked out. And then that was when I was dang, I'm 1-2 in the UFC. I'm not good enough to be here. I don't that was it. I was they're going to cut me. And then they finally called me a short notice fight, probably a month later for Randy Brown. We won that one. We got a new contract. And then from there on out, we just kept winning and just kept pushing it.
What do you think changed Like, what after that loss did you like realize, or what made you change after that?
The training, for sure. Like for myself, 9-0 when I was training, when I first was coming up, it like there was like no structures to the training. It was mostly just like me and Lou, and then we'll have other training partners. I was training with a couple bantamweights, my other boy Horacio, who's a 45er, but like we were just, all right, let's spar today. All right, let's wrestle today. Let's do this today. So like there wasn't really like a system. So I like learned after that. And then after I took that second loss, I was like, all right, well, I need to find other guys to train with. I went down to Milwaukee, started training with like Anthony Pettis and the guys at Rufus Sport. And at the time, he was the champion. So I started learning more from those guys, seeing how they do it. And then I would bring that back here to this team here. And then I would go to other gyms, learn from them, other gyms, learn from them. And I think it just helped me build a system of what works for me and how we do it. And I think like right now, the structure that I have, we do a hard session in the morning, and then the afternoon session is more like a boxing style where we're gearing it toward game planning for a specific opponent. And then, obviously I have strength and conditioning and but I made it more of a science instead of let's just go out there and see what happens. So now it's like everything's strategy. Everything's what's my opponent? We're going to break him down. We're going to do this, this, and this for this guy. We're going to do drills when we're not in camp. We're going to fix all the stuff that we're not good at. And then it's just constant training, constant improvement instead of we're not we're doing everything right. We don't need to fix anything.
Also, guys, really quick, we restocked fullsend.com with a ton of new UFC full send stuff. It's all on the website right now. This shit's been going crazy. You guys love it. I love rocking this shit, to be honest. We also have some exclusive UFC Montreal stuff too. That's actually going to be sold at the fight. So we're actually going to be there at UFC Montreal. If you guys are there, check it out at the arena. Make sure you cop some shit. We got Belal Muhammad on the pod ahead of UFC 315. Let's get into it. What do you want to achieve with your UFC career? Like, do you want to be double champ? And like, how long do you want to stay at welterweight if you want to move up?
For me, with my UFC career, I want to like leave the legacy of beating the best guys, taking the toughest challenges and winning them all. Obviously, if Hamzat wins, which I think he will at 185, and then he walks through a couple of guys and he's that guy that they think is untouchable, I think me moving up and beating him, that would like cement me as one of the best to ever do it. And especially now being at my weight class, you got a lot of hungry guys, right? A lot of undefeated guys who they still think will beat me. Jack's on a 17-fight win streak. So I think there's a lot of like guys for me to beat at my weight class. But I also have 5 top 10 wins in my weight class. So if I get out there and win 2 or 3 more, that'll be 8 top 10 wins in your weight class. And there's no other champion that's done that or had to do that.
Who do you think's like the next 3 guys that you'd want to beat?
That I want to beat?
In that division.
In my division?
Welterweight, yeah.
I think Jack, Shavkat, and I'm hoping Usman wins because I want Usman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy, right? When they're thinking of, they had, competition with him and GSP, like debates. Who's the GOAT between them at welterweight?
Who do you think was more goated, Usman or GSP?
GSP.
I think GSP, no question.
100%. Yeah. Like I don't even think Usman should. Like I'm not a hater, right? But when I look at the guys,
who do you think would have won though in their prime, Usman or GSP?
GSP.
I think it would have been close though, right?
It would have been close, but I think GSP, he's just so smart, and he's just
he's my favorite.
Better everywhere. I think he's more well-rounded. Usman is obviously good, right? But the guys that when you're having rematches with Kobe and you're having a rematch with Masvidal, and you didn't fight different stylistic guys, right? I fought the Maya, the Wonder Boy, the Luke. They were all on good streaks at that time. Gilbert Burns as well. Undefeated Sean Brady. Like I had to keep fighting a different style every time. For him, it's like, all right, well, Masvidal back to back. All right, cool. Kobe back to back. And now we're all realizing Kobe sucks. So it's like when you look back at his fights who had wars with a guy who sucks, it's like, well, how good was really Usman? And then with a guy who got knocked out by Leon and then lost to Leon, and then I dominated Leon. It's like, was he really that good? Was he really goated like a GSP?
Another theoretical one, tough position for you, but in both their primes, in a fight that almost happened, Khabib or GSP at their primes?
Man, honestly, I don't think anybody would beat Khabib.
I think GSP would have beat him.
Bro, like,
GSP would have took him on the feet.
I think Khabib would take him down. Like to me,
no,
bro, he would take him down.
I don't think so.
When he grabs you, when he
You think?
bro, I've seen him like
But
throw 205 pounders
GSP
around.
on the feet was I think he would have pieced up Khabib, and I love Khabib. He's the best.
But the
like,
thing is with Khabib, like to piece him up, you have to get close enough to hit him, right? When you get close enough to hit him, he's gonna get his
you
hands
think he
on
would have took him down?
I think he would have took him down.
I don't know.
We've seen him get taken down by Josh Koscheck, right? We've seen Hendricks take him down, but those guys were more college wrestlers.
True.
I think when you look at Khabib's style of wrestling and grappling and ground and pound, it was something that really he didn't have to fight. Because more of the guys that he fought were like specialists. When he fought Johnny Hendricks,
I forgot about the Hendricks one.
yeah, right. Like he was a college wrestler. He fought a specific way. Even Jake Shields was a jiu-jitsu type wrestler, grappler. He fought him a specific way. Nick Diaz, grappler, specific way. I think Khabib, his style of grappling and wrestling, like you didn't have to deal with it back then.
Yeah,
and a lot of those guys in the era didn't have to deal with them back then. But now, like you see, the Dagestani guys are coming, man.
They're crazy, bro.
They're taking over. Yeah,
they're the best, and they're such good role models too. They're good people to look up to. What's the biggest thing you learned from training with Khabib?
Honestly, it's like you level up everywhere. Like the hard work. Like you were there, right? People are always like, "What's the secret with them guys?" They just push so hard. Every single person in that room, they really care about each other. Like it's a brotherhood.
It is a brotherhood. All they do is train and just talk shit and drink tea.
Exactly, right?
That's it.
And then nobody has like an ego. Like I'm not jealous of you that you're the champion now. They all like Khabib will sit there and buy all these guys, go to the nicest clothing stores, buy them clothes, and he'll be like, this is my favorite store. And he'll go to just like regular buy t-shirt stuff. But he's taking care of everybody around him. And then just like shows you like his humbleness. There's not like I'm sitting first class, you're sitting in the back. Like he doesn't have none of that.
No, yeah.
And
we've seen that with the plane incident.
Bro, exactly, right? It just shows you what type of guy he is.
Yeah.
That's what I built around myself. Like the guys that I have around me, the team that I have around me, we've all been together probably for like 15 years. We all trained together. We all started together. So like even when I got the title fight, people were like, oh, come here to this gym. Go to a bigger gym here. Go there. And I was like, no, these are the guys that got me here. We all got here together. We're all going to win the title together.
Right.
So even winning the belt, it was like a journey for all of us, right? We achieved it all together because, they're sacrificing time from their day to come and help me train. Like the people that work with me that are in my corner, like they have other jobs, they have families, but they're going on the road with me. They're going to practices with me. They're watching me. They're studying tape. And, I don't take that lightly, right? It just makes me want to work that much harder for them because it's a selfish sport, but it's also like a team sport as well where like I see you putting it all in, so I'm going to go all in for you guys too.
Right. What's so crazy about Khabib too, I think of like, it's almost like he got bigger after he retired, right?
100%.
Which is crazy.
He could say one thing and then people are like, they'll make 20 articles about it, right?
Like he was big after the McGregor fight, but then I think it's when he really like stood on business and actually said like, yo, I'm walking away. Because people didn't at first, like when someone says they're retiring, they're like, yeah, right. Like, yeah. But it's when he actually said like, no, like I told my mom I'm done. And like, he never came back. And then you kind of like realized like what type of person he really was. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, oh shit, this guy actually like, I mean, who knows how much he could have made. What did the UFC throw at him, you think? Like,
bro, I can imagine.
How much do you think?
I would say at least 20, 30 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For that, like McGregor, Khabib too.
Even with like the bigger names at that time, Oliveira was blowing up and he had the hype, right? They were like, "Oh, Khabib's running from Oliveira." Like there was nobody bigger than Khabib. And then even with the GSP fight, if he would have came back for that fight, imagine how big that would have been.
I wish.
I didn't see anybody like beating him, but like even for himself, he let it go and he's like, Islam's taking over. He's the one guy taking over now, and he stuck to his words, stuck to his guns. But he's still in the gym training with these guys, still in the gym coaching these guys, sacrificing his time. And it's just like it's cool to see because somebody that like stood by their word like that, there's not a lot of guys that would do that.
I saw you said he said something to you that kind of relieved you of pressure.
Yeah.
What was that?
When he courted me for the Sean Brady fight, like being religious, being Muslim, like he was just so chill and calm in the back room. And he's like, brother, you did all the work. There's no need to be nervous, right? Allah's plan is the best plan. If God wants you to lose, it's meant to lose. There's a reason for it. And you just say, Alhamdulillah, that means thank God. So even when you win, you thank God. When you lose, you thank God because it's protecting you from something or it's putting you somewhere in a spot where you can do something else. even when I look back at my losses, right, it felt like the worst thing that could happen to me at the time. I'm like, bro, I did everything. I worked hard. I trained hard. Why did I lose? Why was I meant to lose that fight? Why did it happen like this? But then hindsight is 2020. When you're looking back, it made me change. It made me grow. It made me learn. It made me want to get better here, here, and here. And then I'm like, oh, so that was the reason for it. Those were the tests for it. So when he said that to me, it just like clicked, because you're always like, you know, you get the nerves in the back room. You're like this, but you have like a freedom about yourself when you're like, the result doesn't matter. Whatever happens in these 25 minutes, 15 minutes, it's meant to happen. It's just a small window. And at the end of the day, tomorrow, a week later, it's going to be forgotten no matter what.
What do you think drives you to like fight? Like, is it legacy, or is there people around you?
Like I said, the people around me that have been with me since the beginning, but also for myself, it's just like just proving everybody who's thought that I couldn't make it here. Like, I've had so many people that, oh, you can't do it. You're not going to make the UFC. Oh, he says he's going to be a champion. You're not going to make a champ. You're not going to be a champion.
Like who? People in real life or just online?
People in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people. Like, I had family members that when I had my first win in the UFC, they're like, well, at least you got one win in the UFC. So if you lose the rest of them, at least you can say you had one. And it was just like, is that what you really think? Like, you don't think I'm good enough? But it just made me like, all right, cool. Like, you don't believe me, but watch me do it. Watch me prove you wrong. Watch me show you. The people online doesn't really matter, right? Like, the people that really matter are the people that are in your circle, the people that like see me every day, see how hard I work. Like, I've had coaches that will tell you, like, when I first met Coach Mike, he saw me train one time. He said, you could be a champion. And I was just like, nah, I don't believe him. But he like stuck with me. He helped me grow. He helped me get better.
He said that to you all
the first time. Yeah,
really?
The first time. He kept telling you that. And
the first time you met him?
First time I met him. He saw me
train. He said you could be a champion.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Bro, yeah. And he has like a good eye, and he's been with the best of the best. And then you're thinking like, yeah,
what do you think made him say that?
I think he just saw my work ethic. Like, when I go into practice room, when I push, it's like try to push harder than everybody else. And like, he has guys. One of my main training partners is Ignacio Balmundez, who's been training since he was like 8 years old, and he has like the most talent I ever seen. So like, I went with him the first time, like, bro, who the fudge is this kid? And he's a beast. And then like, but like, I didn't back down. I'm a guy, if you go with me, you beat me, I want to go with you tomorrow. Like, I go with Khabib, he'll freaking smash me. And then I'm just like, well, let's try it again tomorrow. If I get it, make him work a little bit harder tomorrow, that means I know I'm getting better. I'm growing. I'm not a guy that's like going to shy away, like, oh, you beat me, let me go with somebody else. Who's the easier matchup? And I think that's just that mentality he saw. And I think he just knew what I was capable of.
What do you say to fans that want you to like finish more fights? Is that something you pay attention to, or you just don't really care?
I mean, obviously for me, that's always the goal, right? If I could go into every fight and finish, it would make my job easier. And then we go with that. Like I said, every fight we look back at the last fight and we try to fix things and evolve and get better and grow. But I'm fighting the best in the world. It's not easy to finish these guys. It's not easy to beat these guys, right? A lot of these guys are training specifically for you. So for me, it's like, you get stressed about it and you're like, oh, I want to finish more. I want to do this more. But at the end of the day, I'm dominating these guys for a full 25 minutes. I'm beating these guys in all aspects of MMA. I'm beating them in the striking, in the grappling, in the wrestling. So the finishes will come. They will happen. And they'll just come at the right time, right? And I just can't be impatient with it. And I can't try to rush it, because that's where something goes wrong and you get caught, or you get sloppy in there. So for me, it's just like staying the course. And then once they start happening, it'll be at the highest level. You
gave a pretty decisive description on how you're going to finish this fight. I saw on an interview.
No, now I want to finish it more, right? Because now
you went into detail. Like, you're like, I'm going to hit him with a jab, and then he's going to duck. And
yeah, I always do that. I always come out with these descriptions, right? I think I'm gonna, like I said, people look at him and they think he's a boxer, but to me, I think I had the best boxing in the division. Right? We had this thing we call it Canelo hands. We work outside of camp. We're getting better with our hands. And when people saw me fight Leon and I said I was going to outstrike him, they're like, no, you can't outstrike him. I'm like, watch me outbox him. And we did that. For Jack, he only has one way to win, right? It's with striking. It's with boxing. So for me, I want to go out there and embarrass him with boxing. I want to go out there and outbox him and then make him want to grapple, make him have to do something that he can't do, that he's not uncomfortable with. There's not a plan B for him. So once he gets there and he realizes that he's not good enough with the hands, not good enough with the striking, and he looks at his coaches, and his coaches have nothing else to say to him, that's when the finish will come. That's when the breaking point will come for him. He's never fought anybody like me who's good everywhere. He hasn't fought anybody like me that can go hard from the first round to the last round. And once he gets in there and he sees it and he feels it, that's when they break. That's when the pressure comes. That's when the inexperience will hurt him.
How's your like relationship with the UFC evolved? What was it like getting that belt on you? Do you remember that feeling? Yeah,
100%, right? Because it was the hardest thing. It was the longest process for me to even get the title shot.
Yeah, you had the longest road for sure.
Bro, I was on a 7-fight winning streak. Oh, well, all right, now here goes 15-0 Sean Brady. You're like, bro, okay, 8-fight winning streak. Oh, well, you still need one more. And then I was like, okay, well, here goes Gilbert Burns on 3 weeks' notice. If you win this, for sure you'll get it. And then you're like, well, all right, well, I got to say yes. And then you go out there, you beat him. And then it was like, maybe you got to do one more. And you're like, bro, come on, what else do I got to do? Like, what else do you need? Like, is there something you got against me? Is there this or that? But at the end of the day, they stuck to their word, right? They gave me the shot. It was, I think, the perfect moment for me because it was in Leon's country. We had a fight at 5 a.m. We had to go all the way out there. The first time I fought him was in the Apex. There was nobody there. It was short notice fight. So this time it was the biggest stage. It was meant to happen like this. I was the underdog. The morning of the fight was like a sense of relief, right? Because it was here. Like we didn't have to wait no more. There was nothing else. I think it was like the least stressed I ever felt before a fight. And then once I got the belt wrapped around my waist, it was more so like we did it. Like they didn't believe in us. They didn't think we could do it. Even after my Gilbert Burns fight, I saw Dana in the back and he was like, man, they keep doubting you, but you keep winning. And then it was like kind of like that same feeling after this fight, man. Nobody believed it, but you did it. Like, and then we're going to keep doing that, I think. So it just makes me want to just keep showing them and keep proving them, the doubters and the haters wrong.
So now like that you're champ, does the UFC kind of call you and just say like, yo, this is the fight? Or do you have any type of like back and forth?
I mean, they'll ask me like what my body feels like. Mm-hmm. For me, it was like being the champion now. I was like, let's do a quick turnaround. When do you guys want it? And then they called me for the Shavkat fight last December. We had the infection, so like messed up those plans. So with this one, I was expecting it to be Shavkat, and then they were like, well, he's out. It was either between like JDM and Buckley. And then for me, I was like, I don't really care who it is, which one it is. Just let me know the date. And they gave me the date. And then it was Buckley. Then they were like, well, it's going to be JDM. So for me, I'm like, all right, I'm down. So as long as I had the date, the time, as long as I had the right camp, I'm good with it. And then even with this fight, I could be come out unscathed. I'm ready to go again.
You think Buckley's, what do you think of him? You think he's the real deal or no?
I think he's a real deal. Like he's got a good streak going. He's trying to obviously promote himself and talk his way up. If he beats Usman, I think that'll be the fight.
That fight's going to have some hype on it.
Yeah.
I think.
Because he's talking. He's already talking.
And they both can talk a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And he, like, even if he doesn't have any beef with you, he's going to, like, talk. Like, if you could talk about DC and have a beef with DC randomly, I'm like, bro, DC's like the nicest guy in the world.
Beef with DC?
Yeah. He just said something stupid about him. I don't know what he said.
Oh, yeah. DC's the best.
Yeah. Buckley would say a lot of dumb stuff, right? I just don't think he's good at promoting, but at least he's trying. So for me, I don't think the trash talk's going to be good just because Usman's terrible at trash talk and Buckley's terrible at trash talk. But I think the fight will be entertaining.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, yeah, bro, I don't want to hold you up too long. This is awesome. I know you got a busy schedule. We're going to be there at the fight, Montreal. We're rooting for you. I know Salim's super pumped for this fight. He's fucking...
Oh, dope. Yeah,
he's going to be there. We're all going to be there. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Well, Muhammad, UFC 315.